Today we're going to do some work on my 91 Bridgestone again. I got enough stuff, I should be able to make it rideable, so I want to try and get this knocked out so I can start using that for my road trips. Today I went 26 miles again on my old mountain bike, so this is going to be a welcomed sight, I think, if it works out good. So I've got my Shimano Claris rear derailleur, my front derailleur as well. I got my handlebar tape, I got my chain, seat, water holder cup thing, pedals. I still have my Jaguar brake cable set to run all the way back. I've got my new Claris crank, and I still have my Shimano Claris hand grips for the dual control levers. That's those which are already half installed. I still have the rest of the kit there, which I'm sure we'll be getting some parts out of today. So with all this stuff here, where do we start? Let's start with the crank. Alright, let's get him opened up. Let's see what we got here to play with. Lots of packaging. Got a crank. Got a cap. Whole bunch of cardboard and a piece of paper. So, these Shimano cranks, this one in particular, the Claris, it's got the two gears on it. Which ones did I get? I think I got, tried to get the biggest crank I could. So it's a 50 and a 34. So you got a 50 tooth for the big one and a 34 for the little guy. It does appear that you could probably change out the cranks too. Change out the gears anyway, I'm sorry. Not the cranks. But yeah, you could unscrew and change these out. Nice. That's what it looks like anyway. Yep, that seems to help. Well, there we go. So you obviously want it to be the opposite. So there we go. I'm going to do this one just a little bit to keep it up, keep it even. There we go, that one's there. Let's try this one. There we go. So they have a little cap tool, as if you would need a cap tool to screw this in. It is plastic. So let's make sure we get it threaded right. So if you hadn't noticed, your finger can double as a good cap tool. Alright, now that that's there, the crank's installed. I can't quite put my chain on yet. I want to put my rear derailleur on and my front derailleur on, and not completely, just there. So let's go with the rear derailleur first, because it was the first one I happened to grab. Typical Shimano fashion, a piece of paper and lots of cardboard. Now you'll see you got this here screw, right? I see the screw. Do you see the screw? Yeah? Okay. So if you'll notice, this guy here is the stop that can adjust along this tooth here. And then the screw just gets screwed in the hole. So obviously, this type of rear derailleur requires a threaded hole on your foot. So specific frame gets a specific derailleur. So there's other ones that have like a claws foot that fits over here. This one does not use it. This uses this type of derailleur. So that's specific that I had to get for it. Now the front, let's get the front. The front, they go by diameter. Just like the other parts. Ooh, we get some extras. We got cardboard. Guess what else? We get some plastic on this one. Let's fold these little tabs up so we can pop this off. There we go. Let's rip this open. Get out of there. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Alright, now we got our front derailleur. So this clamps around your frame, and you've got some spacers here. So it's sort of universal. As you can see, I'm going to need them. So let's get some spacers. I'll probably need the big thick ones. Let's get, ooh, Jesus. Let's get these guys out. Figure out which one goes on which side. That one goes there. Yep, because this is adhesive. And this one, the fuzzy adhesive, goes in the hole. So let's pull the backings off our adhesive. Alright, now if you look, that's what we're lining up. Lining up the marks on here of teeth with our teeth. So we also want to make sure that it's straight in relation to the crank, parallel with it. That's what I mean by straight. Whoa, this thing on my head. So as you tighten it, it might move a little bit, and it did. Just a little bit. So let's slide her down just a little bit more. Alright, now that we have that one on there, we have the rear one on there. Now we can run our chain through it. They give you one of these little quick link things. And your chain. We got some directions here as well. Chain's gonna get my hands all greasy. I don't want to work with greasy hands for the rest of this and get grease all over my bike. So I'm gonna pull out some gloves for this part. Now these chains should be the approximate length required, so shouldn't need really anything. You want to make sure that you put it in here right. So I don't want to get it on the ground and all nastified. So let's So I'll put it over first. We'll let it hang. Now, how these go. It's got to go this way, over him, and it goes through the little guide. Alright, now it's through that guide. Now it comes up over this wheel and under that guide. Back around to the front. And that's where it's going to connect. So, I wish to get my quick link ready to go to pop them together, because the derailleurs are loaded with springs and they'll pull it right back out of place. So let's get this side, and I'll set the side piece up here. So let's pop him in here. And pop it through the hole. Now it kind of stays where it is until I get the quick link. And I can pull it back off. Alright, so now it's in place. There we go. Squeeze that in there until it clicks on the ring, and now it's locked in. So now let's back around. There you go. Let's put our pedals on. So, with pedals, you have a left and you have a right. This says it's a right. This is the L, left. So, if you can tell your difference between your left and your right, it'll work out great here. So this one here says counter rotating left. There we go. Now we'll just use this Allen screw, tighten it up. Job done. Let's move on to this other one. So they make them kind of rotating like that specifically, so as you pedal they don't loosen up. So I mean, I'd still make it nice and tight, but as you pedal, if anything, it should tighten up, not loosen up and fall off. There we go. Now I have pedals. Look at that. Before I actually do my adjusting, I just want to get more stuff out of the way here. Let's get the seat on there. Look at that. See, it even matches. This is like a $10 seat. I might end up not even having this. I might change the seat anyway for something more comfortable. I don't know. I got this one because it matches. So we'll see how comfortable it is. It's really small. I have a Springer on that one, a leather one that's really comfy. I can't put that on this one, obviously, but not without changing seat posts. And this 91 Bridgestone had a weird seat post diameter, actually, so we'll see. Now you don't have to take that all the way off, just get it up high enough, get this back down, and then you can tighten it. So as you see, this has, you set the angle and your distance right here. So if I loosen this up, I can rotate it, rotate its position, angle it down, up, whatever you want, slide it forward and back. So this is a small frame for me, so I'm probably going to want it further back, and I believe it's my seat's angled back just a hair, but this will require adjustment once I'm on it. Otherwise, for now, that's a seat. Alright, now we gotta adjust stuff. So to adjust stuff, I need to finish installing my shift. As you could imagine, it's not fun running these. So what we gotta do is peel the hood back so we can get in here. So that is where my cable will sit. This will meet up with it inside of there. So first, it's probably going to be easier to get this rat's nest of a cable through there first. So I have my hole right here. Let's run that up. And it just keeps going and going and going, right? So let's estimate a good, how far. Oh, it's about there. If I run it that far, then it should be in gripping zone. And now, I might already have it. I have a special tool that I made for this. Oh, yep, there it is. So I made this out of some baling wire, and it's for passing through holes and frames and whatever else you got. So alright, same thing. Slowly pull. Ooh, there we go. Alright. Now I got the cable through. But now I also need to get this housing through there. We get our cable in here, and it should come way out the other end. There we go. And then we can get it slid in. Try and jam this guy in there. Now I'm just wrestling with it, trying to get it to follow this in. Right there. There we go. Whew, I'm still gonna do this again for the other one, the 8, the rear. All right, now that we've got that through ish, we need to finish it, get it jammed all the way up. All right, that's all the way in there. All right, now this one I have down here. I don't know if you can see here. We got these two guides. I want this in this guide, so it's gonna go to here on the tube. So it's got to obviously go on the other side of that steering cable and then through. Perfect. Look at that. It's actually the right length. When has anything ever given the right length? All right. Now we want to pass our cable. There's a little holder in there, so you want to pass it through. Bring it up the guide. There we go. Alright, so this is the converter guide tool. It comes on here. You want to make sure that this little tab is pushed in there, and then you want to make sure that this pin gets set whichever one it lines up with on here. So that's called your converter that adjusts your throw for the shifter. So to make sure that it's in the right spot, you have that on there. Now we need to adjust this so it's in line with this outer chain wheel. So it's not quite there, is it? So I need a screwdriver, and we adjust this stop to hold it in line with this outer chain wheel. Right there. Boom. Alright, now that it's lined up with the outer chain wheel, we pull this tight and we see which side it goes on. It's almost perfect, but you want it to line up in here. It almost lines up perfect with the line itself, but from what I see, it's more on the side of the pin needs to be on this side. So what I'm gonna do, pop this all off of here. Boom, just like that. Get our 2mm Allen key. And we're going to push this out, and we want to make it look just like the heck did I do with it? Oh. We want to make it look just like that. So it needs to be, it's in the right position. Alright, so we'll pop that back in there. And now we'll put this on. Alright, now, when it's on the smallest chain wheel, this should be within 5mm of it. Of the chain. So there we go. That's where that should lie. Now, let's pull this tight. This comes up and over the pin. And back down around, and there's actually a little guide channel for it to go right about there. Tighten that down. Pull the slack. Now let's see if we can't get the rest of the slack out. And tighten it up. Okay, now should be good. Let's see. Pull this guy back. Oh, let's pop this little cover back over here. All right. Let's pull our boot back. Oh. All right, now let's see. And there we go. Now to shift out, just gonna push this all the way over. Perfect. Shift in, shift out. See if we can just crimp it on there with this then. If not this, then maybe vice grips. Alright, it's on there. So the front derailleur is now adjusted. I will need to route this cable. And we will need the boot pulled back. And then it will go through this other guide. However, you may see a problem. If it goes through that guide, it's going right through the edge of this kickstand. So, see if you can get you in line with me here. So here's the rear guide, and you can see it just goes boop, right through the edge of that kickstand. So I actually need to trim a little bit off of that kickstand. See if we can't get it put back on and if it fits now. Fits right through that little cutout. Perfect. Now, I use this little guy. I'm gonna rub my hands over this just to get any schmutz off. Pass this through until I'm right there, and then this end here will come up and over the inside of that. Put it in the hole. and it goes there. So this is not quite in the right spot, so I'm just going to loosely put it in there for now. But that's that. So now let's get this in gear 1. As you can see, it's not. I want it in the next faster gear. So let's back this out just a little bit. Yep, there we go. Alright, now I can see it's a little bit out of whack. I did back out too much because I had that little cable on there. Perfect. Alright, now I want to make sure this is out all the way. And that's out all the way, which would be my low gear. Alright, so it's in its low gear right now. Let's see if we can get it through the gears. One gear. Not quite. So it needs to be a little tighter. That might be too tight. Let's see as we cycle through if it'll loosen up. One goes up 2. Beautiful. We'll start on this side first because it's the side nearest me. So we'll start on the end, and we can actually tuck it in, is what I've read. So I don't know how true that is. I suppose we're about to find out though. So it has a little adhesive on there too to help you out. Cap on. It's gonna tuck this in. Now I'm pulling it nice and tight as I go, and I'm lining it up so the perforations are exposed. Now you'll see I pulled the boot back on the shifter, and that's so this can get all the way up underneath there. Oh. And that way when I put the boot on, it's like I never did this. So let's get this edge underneath there. And now this is going to wrap over this stuff. And tuck it back underneath this one. There we go. All right, get the Allen wrench. That's the one. Let's put this bad boy in place. There we go. Ready to go for a test drive. Ooh. high gear. Whew. Whew. As you saw, it works. 91 Bridgestone. Wish I could have gotten the Celeste colored for tires. Green was the closest I could get. It's not a perfect match, but it's there. Maybe I'll keep looking or just go black on the next ones. But that is all.